Have you ever felt that as you move through life, you follow an invisible path? That you are guided, protected, and corrected if you stray? This is a reasonable assumption. According to ageless wisdom, the soul decides on a life path before incarnating. The life path doesn't define exactly what will happen, but into which circumstances we will be born, the direction life will take, and the milestones the soul will pass. When we pass a milestone, we get a sense of fate. The tarot card that represents life path guidance is the trial and temptation card. The angel in the picture is the higher self that keeps us on our life path, the yellow path that leads to the violet mountain of attainment. It is yellow because it is also the path of enlightenment. Every step we take evolves our consciousness. To keep us on the path, the higher self tempers irrelevant desires, the green ways, and unrealistic thoughts, the orange ways. The higher self also provides everything we need to walk the path. Mind everything we need, not everything we want. Another guiding light on our life path is our heart's desire. Our heart's desire is the one thing we want to be and do in this life. I want to be an inspiring writer. What do you want to be? Walking our life path has to do with self-actualization. Carl Jung summed this up in the statement, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." This is a creative effort. As George Bernard Shaw said, we don't find ourselves, we create ourselves. Connecting to the higher self is an important practice. The higher self resides inside our hearts. That's why Thich Nhat Hanh said, "The way is not in the sky, the way is in the heart." The higher self may guide and provide, but we need to walk the path ourselves. As Buddha said, no one saves us but ourselves. No one can, and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path. If we don't walk the path, boredom will set in and an inner void will spread. This inner void is a strong indicator that we are stagnating or have gone astray. While the path is sketched, we can only see it a few meters ahead. The path unfolds as we progress. How do we know that we are on our path and not walking a street paved by society or someone else? Listen to Joseph Campbell. If you can see your path laid out in front of you step by step, you know it's not your path. You make your path with the steps you take. Antonio Machado meant the same thing when he said, "Traveler, there is no path. The path is made by walking." Sometimes our path merges with that of another person and we may walk it together for a while. As Rumi said, it's your road and yours alone. Others may walk it with you, but no one can walk it for you. The purpose of life is to have meaningful experiences. Every experience, however beautiful, gets boring eventually. Hence, the soul's prime interest is the evolution of experiencing. In order to evolve experiences, our minds need to evolve first. For instance, we need to become a lover before we can experience love. That's where enlightenment comes in. In this light, enlightenment is a means to an end, to have ever more meaningful experiences. Our life path is a soul matter, and the ego, or to be precise, our shadow, may not care or even try to sabotage our walk. According to Carl Jung, the shadow comprises aspects of ourself that our conscious self denies. These can be negative traits like anger, envy, weakness, prejudices, or selfishness, but also repressed positive potentials such as creativity, power, or authenticity. These rejected aspects sink into our subconsciousness and may influence our thoughts, actions, and decisions without us knowing. Our shadow develops mostly during childhood, when we learn which traits gain approval and which ones bring rejection from family members, friends, school, and society. Parts of our personality may also become incompatible with our self-image. For instance, if someone's self-image is being a tough man, he may suppress benevolent characteristics. Mine, the shadow, may serve as a protector. For instance, it may have developed to cope with adversity. Or it may have developed as a response to bullying, abuse, or violence. This means the shadow is not all bad. It's often a self-defense mechanism, and we got to cut him some slack. The shadow is ever present and may interfere if the circumstances allow or demand it. It may show itself through sudden, strong emotional reactions, a sense of moral superiority, projections, seeing our negative traits in others, the repetition of unwanted life patterns, the law of attraction, aggression, and sudden shame or defensiveness. Since the life path promotes enlightenment, it is transformative. Transformations are uncomfortable. Although our shadow needs transformation, it resists it. To do so, it may distract the soul by pointing at temptations. For example, the temptations of power, fame, or excitement. These are the infamous sirens that lure the travelers of life into the death of self-alienation. If that happens to you, tell your shadow, "Thank you, shadow, for your suggestions. You are a valuable life companion. But at the moment, you're not helping. Join me in making the next step on our life path." You may also say, "I don't have time for this. We can do this another time." Your shadow is used to waiting in the shadow and hence amenable to delays. Your shadow may also tempt you with a detour. This is okay. Detours seem to waste time, but they belong to the life path. They show us what we don't really want. This means maturing by elimination. An addiction could be a detour, a bad relationship, or a meaningless job. Children are in the business of making detours and trying out all sorts of things. As we grow older, we lose interest in diversions. If you want to avoid a detour, tell your shadow, "Thank you, shadow, for your suggestion. You are a valuable life companion, but at the moment, you're not helping. Join me in making the next step on the life path." You may also say, "I don't have time for this. We can do this another time." Your shadow is used to waiting in the shadow and hence amenable to delays. Your shadow may also ask you to have a break. That's okay. Have a break and move on. If you don't have time for a break, tell your shadow, "Thank you, shadow, for your suggestions. You are a valuable life companion, but at the moment you're not helping. Join me in making the next step on our life path." You may also say, "I don't have time for this. We can do this another time." Your shadow is used to waiting in the shadow and hence amenable to delays. Your shadow may also try to slow you down with worries. If you want to overcome worries, focus on the present. The future isn't here yet, so why worry about it? If the cause of your worry is in the present, have faith in your life path, your knowledge and skills, and the higher self's guidance. Make a risk assessment and go ahead. If the worry is unreasonable, tell your shadow, "Thank you, shadow, for your suggestion. You are a valuable life companion, but at the moment, you are not helping. Join me in making the next step on our life path." You may also say, "I don't have time for this. We can do this another time." Your shadow is used to waiting in the shadow and hence amenable to delays. Your shadow may also sow doubts in your mind. Worries are emotional. Doubts are intellectual. Hence, we need to solve doubts on the intellectual level. Make a SWOT analysis and or a SMART goal and go ahead. If the doubt is unreasonable, tell your shadow, "Thank you, shadow, for your suggestion. You are a valuable life companion, but at the moment, you're not helping. Join me in making the next step on our life path." You may also say, "I don't have time for this. We can do this another time." Your shadow is used to waiting in the shadows and hence amenable to delays. Last but not least, your shadow may point at your back, slowing you down with regrets and shame. Tell your shadow, "Je ne regrette rien." This is the title of a song from Edith Piaf. It means, "I don't regret anything." You can't change the past, so let it go. Tell your shadow, thank you, shadow, for your suggestion. You are a valuable life companion, but at the moment, you're not helping. Join me in making the next step on our life path. You may also say, I don't have time for this, but we can do it another time. Your shadow is used to waiting in the shadow and hence amenable to delays. But you can also make up for past wrongdoings and thus eliminate shame or bad conscience. Don't apologize to those you wronged. That's cheap. Anybody can say sorry. Make up for your wrongdoings. The literal meaning of karma is action. Remedying karma requires action. As you can see, shadow work is an integral part of walking the path of life. Shadow work is the process of becoming conscious of immature and rejected parts of ourself and integrating them into our conscious self. Carl Jung said, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Shadow work involves self-reflection, noticing emotional triggers and traumas, and taking responsibility for projections. Shadow integration leads to what Jung called individuation, the process of becoming a whole person rather than a socially adapted person. Shadow work reduces inner division, it strengthens authenticity, and it frees energy trapped in traumas. Consciousness consists of faculties like thinking or remembering. We can use faculties of consciousness constructively and destructively, which produce auspicious or inauspicious states of mind, which in turn attract pleasant or unpleasant experiences. Shadow work means looking for a faculty of consciousness we have used unconstructively and practicing its constructive use. For instance, taking unconscious aggression and using it to ask our boss for a raise. Faculties of consciousness can be lacking or they can get out of hand. For instance, if the mind lacks vitality, it may show signs of depression. If it has too much energy, it shows signs of ADHD. The shadow consists of unbalanced faculties of consciousness. Now look at the trial and temptation card again. The higher self keeps faculties of consciousness in balance. In the BOTA deck, the higher self pours fire on an eagle, that's anima, and water on the lion, that's animus, thus balancing them. The anima and animus are the female and male aspects of human consciousness. Balance is the secret of the great work. Balance gets more difficult as we progress on the path of the soul's transmigration. High up in the violet mountain of enlightenment, the path becomes as sharp as a sword's blade. Thank you for watching this episode of the Enlightenment Tarot. Please help to spread the light with a like and a share. And don't forget to subscribe. Love and light.